Down below there you can see the rattlesnake. Let me bring this up a little bit here. You can see back out in the very low part of the Rattlesnake and the Nile Valley. But that's not where we're going today. We're going to go up in the Little Rattlesnake. And there you can see the road down below. Down there you can see the truck. We're on the first little, I'm going to stop right here. We're on the first little road that turns left right at the west end of that first little campground they just rebuilt down there. I don't know if they call it Hanging Tree or what, but that's where we are. And we came up here to get away from any potential traffic, get a little elevation advantage. Down there you can see the Rattlesnake Road. This is where it crosses the creek for the first time when you're coming up through here. And over here you can see where the Little Snake takes off. There's a kind of a parking place, campground. A lot of people camp here, but the Little Snake's been closed for, boy, I don't remember when it was closed. It's been so long. But we're going to fly up the Little Snake. Hang on a second there. I got to change positions. Okay, that road curves on around to the right, and that goes up the Big Snake. But the Little Snake is over here. And that's the center of our attention today. You can see the road immediately goes into one less traveled, shall we put it that way? We can only go just so far up here, but we'll go up just far enough maybe to take a look at this flat area. We're cruising along about 19, 20 miles an hour. There you can see the old road bed going up through there. We'll swing around here and take a look at some of the rocks and stuff. Got an airplane going over, but he's well above us. I'll switch over to the zoom camera. See a lot of small birds flying around up here. I used to have a lot of trouble with the Mini 4 Pro. I guess the birds figured that was more their size, and we'd get dived on quite a bit. But the bigger drones, the Mavic series, I don't know if it makes a little more noise, if it's physically a little bigger. But so far, knock on wood, I haven't had any troubles with birds. I'll swing back out here and take a look over here. There's one big one and one small one over here. I didn't see anything in there. All we're doing, the drone is just sitting in one spot and we're just swinging the camera around. A lot of cool rock formations up here. Got another plane going over, but he's way up high. Swing around here to the west. You can see on up the Little Snake. I'll pull it down in here and just out of curiosity. See what's going on up in here. Look up high. Snow's melting off pretty good. Let's go up here and just take a little quick peek at this semi-level area. It's all nice and green. Boy, in the springtime it's pretty up here. Looks like an old skid trail or a 2-track there. Zoom in a little bit and take a look around. One thing I always notice, the human eye, the hunter's eye, you always look for areas where you can see good and what looks good for you and everything's open, but that's not the reality of where the animals generally are going to be. They don't spend their life getting out in the open where you can see them good. But I still like to do it. Let's take a look way over. There you can see back down in the Nile Valley and the first part of the Little Snake and Big Snake. And on the other side is the ridge on the east side of Chinook Pass Highway. Just having fun taking a closer look. Now over there, I'll raise up a little bit so it's center of the screen. That's the rock ledges and breaks and stuff above the first part of the Rattlesnake coming out of the Nile. And over here are the rocks we looked at earlier. Now you can see the Little Snake down there in the bottom. You can see the old road and the cliffs on both sides. Way back in a different century and many decades ago, we used to come up the Little Snake a lot and go up and down Grouse Haven. I'd have to look it up to see when this was closed. I kind of wish it was still open, but it's still kind of cool that it's closed. And I don't think they're ever going to open it, so if we're going to look at it, this is going to be how we'll do it. We'll ease back down through here and take a look at the Little Snake going back down towards the paved Rattlesnake Road. See the old Little Snake bed there on the left. We're cruising along about 20 miles an hour, looking down at a 22-degree angle. And I'm sure you were wanting that information. Looks to me like the Little Snake is kind of grown up and getting brushed in, and I don't really remember how it used to be, but that's been a long time back. You got a good look at the old road bed. Let's swing around here and I'll raise up. You can see that road over, that's the one that we turned off of down below. If you keep on going up it, it swings around here and actually goes out on top of this ridge over here right above the lower end of the Nile Valley. I haven't been all the way up through there, but I've looked at it on Google Map and Google Earth rather. And if you look dead center on the screen, I'll raise it up a little bit, you can see the towers over on Clemens. That's 37, 38 power zoom. I can go up to 56, but it gets a little pixelated. Yeah, there's 56. 15, 10, 9, 7. Back out to 1. Swing down and back over here into the Little Snake. The silence up here is almost deafening, as they say. It is peaceful and quiet. There's no wind, there's no traffic noise, no birds chirping, no nothing. This is the lower end of the Little Snake, and there's that wide area on the corner where it takes off. I bumped my drone recording, had to turn it back on. You can see the road to the left goes on up and the road to the right goes on down. Down below there you can see the paved road and the dirt road. Pull it up and take one last look down in the Nile. Well, we're getting low on battery. Camera drops down, straight down.
Landing.
0. Coming home.
Return to home.
Let's see Spidey coming across there, heading for us now. Coming in for a landing.
Landing. Landing.
Touchdown.